When I was new to squeeze plays, I would come across situations like this ridiculously contrived 7-no trump contract on a club lead, and I would get excited that it looked like a squeeze. We have threat cards in spades and hearts, and the squeeze card will be a minor suit card in our hand. Let's check blue. We'll cross our fingers and hope that condition B is satisfied. We have 12 winners in 13 remaining tricks and just the one loser for condition L. For condition U, the spade threat is upper of west, and the heart threat is upper of east, so we can squeeze either opponent. For condition E, there is an entry to the hand opposite the squeeze card in spades, and since the spade threat is in the hand with that spade entry, we don't need to deal with the UE exception. But when I'd play the hand out to the end, inevitably I'd find that one opponent is guarding spades and the other opponent is guarding hearts. I would say to myself, I got unlucky that condition B wasn't satisfied this time. Perhaps condition B will be there on the next board. But over and over, I'd get to the end of the hand to find that I was missing condition B and the squeeze didn't work. What was I doing wrong? This example is such an extreme one that it should be easy to see my mistake. Think about how many guard cards there are. There are 12 guards in hearts and another 10 guards in spades. If a defender is busy holding all the guard cards, they must have started with more than 13 cards in their hand. That's why condition B was not satisfied. There are so many guards that a single opponent cannot hold them all. This was such an extreme example that it was ridiculous, but something similar happens on a more realistic example in which the threat cards are 10s instead of 2s. This time, there are only 7 guard cards, and it is possible that a single opponent is busy holding them all. However, it's still not very likely. Every additional guard card cuts your chances of satisfying condition B by more than half, because the squeeze won't work if any of the guards are held by the other opponent. That's why so many of my attempted squeezes were failing. Squeezes are most likely to work when each threat suit has a single guard card in it, or when at most a single opponent could have a long enough holding to guard the suit. It is sometimes possible to perform a squeeze when there are 3 guard cards for the 2 suits combined, and rarely possible when there are 4 guard cards, but beyond that, the squeeze is almost certain to fail. Many of my previous videos of double dummy situations have been slightly misleading. They show 3 or even 4 guard cards in the defender's hands. I did this so that you couldn't take a finesse and didn't need to start at trick 1 to count out a long suit. That way, you could focus on the squeeze play at the end. But in practice, squeezes with that many guards usually fail. Try to keep the number of guard cards in each threat suit to a minimum.